We are totally unaware that our food supply, medications, and sometimes even the air we breathe are filled with these fungal poisons fully capable of causing symptoms and diseases in humans. Stay tuned and let the learning begin.
This is Dr. Roby Mitchell. Watch Know the Cause. You'll never medicate your way out of diseases that you behave yourself into. Change your habits, change your life. Back to you, Doug.
Who can't do that? Come on, anybody can stand on their head and do push-ups like that. Dr. Roby Mitchell, dear friend of mine. By the way, his Facebook has something fascinating that I want to talk about as we open today's show. The word cake. Let's talk about that as we open today's show. Denny is then going to make cupcakes, only without all the sugar and flour and so forth that we normally eat cake with. Susie is here talking about migrainades. I love this. Migraine headaches that she says are grenades. This time of the year, sun's up, let's go, not for a jog like I used to, but let's get outside in the vitamin D and the sun and the oxygen and walk and talk. And then finally, confusion exists around the pH chart. What's a high pH? What's a low pH? What's acidic? What's alkaline? Bert Golding is going to help us with that. All that and more on today's Know the Cause. You know, Dr. Roby Mitchell and I met, it was with Doug Inglesby many, many years ago, probably 15 years ago or so. And I remember him telling us at dinner one night, you can't medicate yourself out of a lifestyle that you've gotten yourself into. This is the most exercise most of us get, right? We hit the remote every night. We sit down, put our feet up, and hit the remote. We don't go out and walk like we're going to do later on today's show. I'm going to show you what I do, and I love it. We just don't exercise. We live a sedentary lifestyle, and we tend to sit down and eat toast and honey and say, well, that's okay. The honey may not be on the phase one. The toast may not be on the phase one. You know where I'm going with this. Roby did something on his Facebook that we all just love. John Miller, our producer, saw it first and called me and said, go to Roby's Facebook, look at this. I still don't know how to get on Facebook. At any rate, Roby says we are eating cake. Was it Marie Antoinette that once said, let them eat cake? I don't know who it was. But this is fascinating. If you're eating toast and butter and jelly, you're eating cake. If you're eating biscuits and butter and syrup, you're eating all the ingredients in cake. You know, most breakfast cereals are absolutely loaded with sugar. And I need to explain something here. Once you chew up, it's called the process of mastication, right? So you take some cereal and you chew it up. The digestive enzymes, the enzymes in the saliva, as you swallow, these grains become sugar. So there's two strikes with sugar. Number one, or with grains. Number one, they are commonly contaminated with these fungal metabolites, poisons, mycotoxins. Number two, they feed yeast in the belly. So if you're eating milk and most breakfast cereals, you're eating cake. A bagel and cream cheese, right? Lots of wheat, cake. Waffles, butter, and syrup, cake. Pancakes, muffins, pastries. This is the American diet. Donuts, sandwiches, cookies, you're eating cake. We feel so guilty about sitting down. I know when the kids were young, we'd make a birthday cake and we'd sit down and eat a piece of the cake and Ruth and I go, oh, what did we do? Gee, we don't feel so bad. From time to time, eating off the phase one, if you don't have a serious disease, is actually a good thing. Why? You know in challenging, we don't call it cheating, we know in challenging cake sometimes that you really feel crummy for a few days. Haven't killed all the yeast, maybe in the bloodstream or in the gut. So understand that we eat cake a lot. Oh, we don't call it cake, okay? It isn't called cake. What's the alternative? Short time ago, Denny put together something called carrot cupcakes. Now, these are cupcakes, but imagine if you made a bigger bowl, you could just make a carrot cake out of this. And a couple of sweeteners that don't feed the yeast she uses in these, xylitol and stevia, an herb, stevia. So watch now as I'm in the kitchen a short time ago with Denny as an alternative to all of this that's okay from time to time. Watch Denny. Okay, we can probably shut that off. This was about 4 or 5 eggs, right?
5 eggs and a 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of oil. I used almond oil, but you could use grapeseed oil.
You know what, we posed the question to Denny, cupcakes, right? You go to parties and there's cupcakes for your kids and they're just laced with sugar. What is a good alternative? And Denny has put something together for us. Cheatingly, I will admit, the other night I had one of these.
You did.
They are amazing,
They're
so I'll
pretty good.
let her show you how to make them.
Yeah, they're real nutritious. These are made with almond flour. And I'm going to add some buckwheat flour.
Still phase 1.
Still
right?
phase 1
Yep.
so far. We're still phase 1. Xylitol.
Lots of it.
Yeah, a 1/2 cup plus 2 tablespoons, and I put a little bit of stevia in there too, because you don't want to use too much xylitol.
But you want you want that taste, right?
You want it to be sweet.
Right.
Now these aren't overly sweet. So this is coconut flour.
Okay.
We have some cinnamon, a couple teaspoons of cinnamon, and some baking soda.
Okay.
We're going to just mix
Now
this
show
up.
that to Joe's camera here. Look at that. Isn't that good? Ooh.
Just mixing it up so it's pretty thoroughly combined, and then we're going to add this to our oil and eggs in here.
Now it's really mixing it up. It's nice and
Yeah.
moist thanks to the eggs,
It's,
right?
it's a very heavy dough. It doesn't look like cake batter. It's thick. It's dense.
Then
we're
we
gonna-
add the beta carotene.
We're just going to mix this up real quickly. Yum.
Now, mind you, we're still on very much a phase 1 plan here. All of this, you know, Denny looks at these recipes and says, what can we change to make it more user-friendly for those who try and follow a phase 1/phase 2 diet for your children, any of your loved ones, parties at school, etc. This is just wonderful.
We
Go right
switch?
ahead.
Okay. So you bake these at 350. Put them in a muffin pan, or you can use little muffin liners and it's a silicone.
You know what? I
pan. These
love
are
this.
kinda
Look
fun.
at that. Look at that.
Kind of fun. They're
No
really
more of
easy to
that
get them
metal.
out of these. And if you use an ice cream scoop, it's a real easy way to do it.
Okay, so
So we're gonna get these in here. We'll put them in a 350-degree oven.
now I said the word cheatingly. That isn't really a word. Earlier in the segment, Denny made these in advance and has made an icing for them that just
A cream cheese icing, like you would make any cream cheese icing. It's butter and cream cheese, a little half and half to thin it out a little bit. Sweetener, again, I use xylitol and stevia, and a little bit of vanilla. And if you want to take these in your lunchbox with you, now look, see how nice and moist
show it right up there to Joe. Yeah.
those are? Rather, you know how are you going to wrap a cupcake with frosting on it? You can't
Exactly.
do that,
Put
right?
the frosting in the middle.
Put it in the middle. And let's be generous, because after all, if you're going to go for it, there you go. Pop it in your lunchbox.
Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that just a little work of art?
And with
Can
the
you get that,
almond
Joe?
flour, it's actually a very nutritious little snack.
That is amazing. Look at that. How nice that is. Now, the bite.
Like a little frosting sandwich.
Very much. Frosting all over my face. I would prefer this over a cupcake any day. This is absolutely delicious. Your children will love it. It
They will.
tastes tremendous.
They will.
Thank you very much, Denny. Excuse me while I imbibe.
Enjoy.
I was having a lot of irregular heartbeat. I'd been in the emergency room Thanksgiving morning is the last time. Through pursuing natural things, Dr. Dieterle is my physician, and he referred me to Dawn, said I should see her, and she got me started on the diet here about a month and a half ago. And I was also having some problems with ulcerative colitis, and I've been off my medication for that now for about a month. I don't think I've goofed up on the diet yet. I'm pretty strict with it. Pretty easy to try, and it doesn't have the side effects of drugs. I've been down some of the roads with drugs in the past, and it's hard to put my finger on it, but I always just figured that there was some way of fixing this without, drugs or surgery, and it sure. Well, my blood pressure, I have to attribute that to the diet too. 2 weeks ago it was 104/60, and last week it was 110/70, and I've been running usually in the mid to upper 140s over 85 to 90.
You know, I love old medical books. You know that. I have hundreds of old medical books because I feel, the truth be known, often there are facts in these old medical books that have never come out in modern science. For example, this book happens to be called the Handbook of Toxicology. What does toxicology mean? Do any of you have chemistry? It means poison. So this is the Handbook of Poison. The problem with that is it's penicillin and erythromycin. It's antibiotics. In 1957, when this book was written, apparently there were 340 potential antibiotics or antibiotics on the market. Now, of course, there are thousands and thousands of them. But this book found the LD50, the lethal dose that would kill 50% of mice that they were testing at that time. So they'd inject an antibiotic into them, and 50% of them would live and 50% would die, and they'd say, that's the LD of penicillium. Folks, the reason I'm mentioning this to you, I have no axe to grind with penicillin. I think it's saved a lot of lives. And yet, I've come this far, 40-some years in my career, and I'm now seeing the damage done by some of these drugs, and I'm not alone. I don't think the damage done by an antibiotic is immediate. Look, if we swallowed penicillin and our left ear fell off, fait accompli, right? Cause and effect relationship, but that's not the way it happens. I think that changes in the terrain of the bowel, our immune system is sitting here, are subtle and take years and years and years. I'm not telling you, nor will I ever, that these are toxicologic substances. They're not poisons, although they are mycotoxins, and mycotoxins do cause serious diseases. These are well thought out drugs, but use them judiciously, how I wish doctors did. Use them carefully. Tell your doctor when you're uncomfortable taking an antibiotic. Maybe something natural would heal you. Always share that information with your doctor, and share your heart with them too. Just my take. Be careful with that word natural. That's what we're going to be talking about right now. Remember in chemistry, the periodic table we all had to memorize, right? There's 117 or 118 chemical items on there. 94 of those are natural. What's that, 80, 82%, something like that, are natural. Well, gallium is one of those. It's number 31, and that's totally natural. Einsteinium, number 99, is totally unnatural. So would you rather have gallium on your ice cream, which is totally natural, or spread a little Einsteinium, which is number 99, on your steak? You see, Einsteinium is not natural. Gallium is totally natural. It's confusing, isn't it? Be careful with the word natural. Radiation, mustard gas, chemotherapy. Some chemotherapy drugs are natural. Remember, on this show we talk a lot about fungal byproducts that are naturally formed. They're called mycotoxins. In the final analysis, you know the little paper label that's printed on a can of anything? The word natural may appear on that paper label, and sometimes the paper that it's printed on is better for you than what's inside the can that the paper is over. And now you know this. Oh man, wow. You know, I love being outdoors. I ran a lot, ran for a lot of years, but then I started slowing down a little bit and began walking. Walking is a good exercise for many, many reasons. Number one, you can do it on one of those little trampolines. You can do it on a treadmill. I kind of like to get the vitamin D and the fresh oxygen that we get out here. Oxygen is really good for the body. Walking strengthens the heart. It strengthens the muscles. It helps the lungs expand. Watch what happens when you increase your walk a little bit. You're breathing more. That means your lungs expand. It doesn't take much to walk. I always carry a hat in case the sun comes up. You can shield your face from it. Carry a bottle of water. Now, I used to jog 4 or 5 miles a day and never carried water. I'm more like an elephant, I guess. I can hang on to the water for a long period of time. But some people need to hydrate after they start a walking program. Just being outdoors, being with nature, I think it's so wonderful. The medical literature says people who exercise feel better. They get less flus, less heart disease, less colds, things like that. Here's something that boggles a lot of minds. Exercise lowers your risk of serious diseases like cancer, like diabetes, etc. Most importantly for people my age, it keeps you regular. I'll go a couple of blocks, maybe 3 or 4 blocks on this walk. Many people go 2-3 miles a day, go home, make some juice, and they just feel wonderful starting the day that way. But start slow. Always get to a doctor, folks. If you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and you think Doug might be right on this, I need to get out and exercise, get to a doctor, have him draw blood, see how the ticker's doing and so forth. He might put you on a treadmill, and that's your introduction to walking. Start slow and increase daily. That's the key to really beginning an exercise program. Dogs, when they run at you, if you just stop and go like this, the dogs tend to sniff your legs and walk away. It's happened a few times to me. Most importantly, detox your body. What does sweating do? You come in from 4 or 5 miles and you're sweating. It's detoxing your body. The more you increase the stride, the more you begin sweating. Watch this. From a walk to a nice slow jog, I'm gonna sweat. Wow. Now, walking is one thing, right? But the resistance when you're in water gets even better. Imagine what this is doing. You can't see my legs right now, nor can I. But imagine what this is doing. This is called resistance training. Remember, you lift a weight, now resist putting it all the way down. Training the biceps. This is working in your core, in your legs, in your back muscles. This is hard. This is hard, but it's really good. Why? Because I'm pushing. It's speeding up my heart rate. I'm building my heart rate, I'm building muscle and so forth. This aids in weight loss, in cardio and strength training. And if there aren't any water moccasins in here, it's also aiding me in stress reduction. You know what I mean. Cool water actually makes the heart blood flow quicker. It speeds up the blood flow. Okay. There's so many good things to say about getting out in water and doing this. You can do it in a pool. We don't have many of those here in Texas, so I do it here in the lake. And the best part of this is when it gets 105 out here, you just dive in. Wow. But this is not a segment on swimming. This is a segment on walking. Walk the dog, walk with your neighbor, get outside and walk. Walk for the cure. Go outside and walk. That's the important thing. And there are ways to walk, right? High stepping, low stepping, walking the dog, just being outside. It's so wonderful. There's so many health benefits. We've already talked about that, but there are ways to walk, right? There's one, a lunge. You know, there you go. Ouch. That's a good way to exercise the thigh muscles, the calf muscles, and so forth. Most important thing is, folks, that you're outside and you're moving. Be careful. You know, there's rocks in the road. You can fall down. Use your head when you're out there. You can walk forward. You can even turn around and walk backwards. Now, don't go away. We'll be right front with more. Or I mean right back with more.
Knowledge is power. You really need to educate yourselves. Doctors are wonderful. They're out there to, I think they have some good intentions. I think they don't know everything. And I think that we need to educate ourselves and learn how our bodies work, what works best for us.
After having read the fungus link in the diabetes book, it's eye-opening. It's allowed me to, I guess, feel the joy and the happiness to practice again. A lot of times with my patients, they come into my office and they have questions in regards to various things, and I don't have good answers for them. They've tried various medications, they've tried antibiotics and other things, and honestly, it's very, very difficult to look people in the eye and tell them, I just don't know. I just don't know how I can help you any further. After having read these books and after having spoken with Doug, I feel like there's hope again. I feel like, maybe there's a way for me to now help people that before would have been, basically hopeless. I have to prescribe the medications, the antifungals, the diflucan, the nystatin, and get them on these diets because it only makes sense. It's logical to me at this point. I feel like if I were to withhold that information from those people, I would not be, upholding my oath that I've taken to help other people. And that's something that I've dedicated my life to. I can't not do it, I should say. I can't not do it in all good conscience. This is good science, and Doug has shown that.
Okay, are you confused about acid and alkaline? I mean, I can't walk into a store anymore. If it doesn't say, gluten-free, it says low pH or high pH. So I brought in a guy I consider to be the expert, Bert Golding of Positive Power Nutrition. He has that nice chart we see on TV. Here it is. And Bert is in my left ear. He comes to us via phone today, and you'll be able to hear him. The pH scale I really like that Bert has. Bert, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, great to be here.
Is it fair to say, Bert, so that we can get this straight for our audience, that living down in the 3, 4, 5 area, alcohol, soda pop, breads, etc., are down in that acid area, and we want to be more alkaline. Is that correct?
Yes, we want the clear fluids of our body to be slightly alkaline.
Okay, slightly alkaline. And that's why I like your chart. Up here you have eggs, just in the neutral area, spinach, chicken, chocolate cake, crackers. Is that chocolate cake and crackers are in the neutral area?
No, what happens is that that is the pH when you test the items. To test the acid or alkalinity of anything, it needs to be in liquid form.
Okay.
So, we've got great government agencies and labs that will go through and test the pH, the acid or alkaline. But that doesn't mean that if you eat chocolate cake and crackers, it's going to make you more alkaline. That's not what it means at all.
Okay, that helps a lot, Bert, because next to it, of course, we see sugar and so forth. You're not saying those are neutral, go ahead and eat those, because those are way off the phase 1 diet. What you're saying is this had to become a liquid, like you have chlorine bleach. You obviously don't want to eat that. And so they had to make it that way, and then when they tested it, it was more neutral.
Well, it just means that if you think that eating foods that are in the alkaline range, of which there really are no real foods, no real good foods that are, if that's going to help balance your pH of your body, it doesn't.
Okay.
You need to eat foods that have good acids because those will push all the bad acids out of your body.
Okay, now,
so
Bert,
on that chart,
yep,
you can see that the good things are also in the acid range.
Yeah, exactly. I got you. Okay, that's up here. The good things. Yep, carrots and spinach, chicken, eggs, and so forth. Now, I stopped into a store, a health food store in Los Angeles a few weeks ago when I was visiting, and I pulled a pH chart, and I sent a copy of this to you, right?
Yes.
So over here in the real acid area, we see soda pops and burgers and donuts and so forth. But then way over in the alkaline area, we see grapes, bananas, pineapple, watermelon, cabbage, asparagus, and so forth. And according to this chart, these look to be in the 9 and 10 areas of alkalinity. That's not accurate, is it?
No, not by any stretch of the imagination. Because when you actually take something as healthy as cabbage or red cabbage, and you test the pH of it before you eat it,
yeah,
it's from 5.4 to 6.0, which is definitely in the acid range. I think what they're trying to describe in their chart is that if you eat those things, which they put all the good stuff on the alkaline side, not that they're alkaline in nature, but that they can help your body achieve a more alkaline balance. I think that's what they're trying to describe.
I do too, Bert. As I looked at that carefully, what they were trying to do is differentiate those that make your body acid because disease proliferates in an acid environment, as you taught us. And those on the other side, more alkaline, it's not that they're 9s and 10s, it's those are the foods you want to eat. Bert, I got to run. Bert is the pro. Positive Power Nutrition. You love his products. We love the guy. Thank you, Bert. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Doug.
Don't go away, friends. More of Know the Cause. Now that we understand that, more of Know the Cause is right around the corner.
Hi, I'm Susie Cohen, America's Pharmacist. 2 tiny grape-sized glands are your body's workhorse for producing the hormones that wake you up and give you energy. I'm talking about your adrenal glands. So if you're tired or you feel like you can't cope as well as you should, or if you have unexplained aches and pains, low blood pressure, or lightheadedness, you might have a condition called adrenal fatigue. It's caused by chronic stress, and your body simply cannot keep up with a continual fight or flight response. So job number 1 is to lower your stress level. I don't care how you do it, just do it. Change your phone number if you have to. Try yoga, meditation, dancing, gardening, scrapbooking, anything that makes you happy. And then there's always Schizandra, a natural herb that not only nourishes your adrenal glands, but also supports a healthy blood sugar and blood pressure. It won't fix a bad marriage, but it's kind of like an antidote to stress. Schizandra interacts with a few medications, so do ask your doctor if it's right for you. I'll see you next time.
I keep this little bottle of peppermint with me all the time when I'm lecturing or I'm book signing or something. And I touch my finger to it. Wow. And you really get a blast of peppermint oil when you do something like that. There's other benefits to it than just good breath. And here's one of them, today's Know the Cause quiz. In a recent study in a journal called Molecular Nutrition and Food Research, which form of peppermint was proven to be an effective antifungal? Now, my guess, just like olive leaves are antifungal, I would think peppermint leaves would be. The vapor that I'm inhaling right now, I would think that would be antifungal. I wouldn't, a peppermint flavoring extract, that's so rarely peppermint, probably there's other things in it. And I don't know what a hydrosyl is, but hydro is water, so I would think that would dilute peppermint. So is it A, B, C, or D? There's a lot of chemists and biochemists watching this show that just snap with the answer, they would know. The answer, interestingly, is peppermint vapor. What I'm feeling right now is real good. A lot of people get thrush in their mouth, their tongue, and the roof of their mouth, and so forth. Peppermint, what they're saying, a little drop, might be real good for that because it's anti-yeast, antifungal. I have so many people to thank. The man that was standing on his head doing push-ups in the opening, Dr. Roby Mitchell, and his Facebook entry, thank you so much. Denny, those carrot cupcakes are absolutely amazing. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Bert Golding, for your information on pH scales. And thank you for watching me outside moving. You do that too, and I'll see you next time. God bless. Bye-bye.